Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India Live, India's voice to the world. I'm Tanvi Taneja, coming up in the next 30 minutes. Prime Minister Narendra Modi interacts with students in the second episode of the 9th edition of Pariksha Pe Charcha, shares mantras for success with children. Seychelles President Patriksha Pe holds talks with Prime Minister Narendra Modi in New Delhi to also meet President Draupadi Murmu. Hong Kong court sentences pro-democracy media mogul Jimmy Lai to 20 years in prison following a high-profile trial that sparked international condemnation. And in sports, India knocks out world number 6, the Netherlands, in a dramatic win in the Davis Cup, seals spot in qualifiers round 2. So the charcha or discussion on stress-free exams continues. Prime Minister Narendra Modi interacted with students in the second episode of Pariksha Pe Charcha today. It was a special one as it featured students from various cities across India. During the session, Prime Minister Modi shared insights on exam preparation, stress management and other challenges faced by students appearing for their board exams. The 2026 edition has recorded over 45 million registrations, with an additional 26 million participants engaging in associated activities, taking the overall participation to 67 million individuals. Encouraging the startups, Prime Minister Modi said that students do not need the age of 25 to make a startup. It can be started anytime. He said students should reach out to industry professionals and understand how they work.
छवि जैन है मेरा नाम। मुझे स्टार्टअप करना है, तो मुझे किन किन विषय की जानकारी चाहिए और एजुकेशनल लेवल पे मुझे क्या करना होगा जिससे मुझे स्टार्टअप के लिए मदद मिल सके।
आपकी बात एकदम सही है। मैं भी आजकल जब भी किसी नौजवान से मिलता हूँ तो तुरंत कहते हैं स्टार्टअप। पहले आपका ध्यान इस बात पे होना चाहिए कि आप क्या करना चाहते हैं। कुछ स्टार्टअप ऐसे हैं जो सिर्फ टेक्नोलॉजी में इनोवेशन करना चाहते हैं। किसी को लगता है मैं ड्रोन बनाऊं, किसी को लगता है कि मैं घर में बिजली की व्यवस्था ऐसी खड़ी कर दूं। अपने किसी 4 दोस्तों को देख जानती होगी जो टेक्नोलॉजी में एक्सपर्ट हैं। एक आध दोस्त है फाइनेंस में एक्सपर्ट है। चलो 4 लोगों की टोली बना दे, साइड में अपन स्टार्टअप शुरू करते हैं। जरूर नहीं कोई स्टार्टअप के लिए कोई 25 साल की उम्र चाहिए, आप कभी भी शुरू कर सकते हैं। छोटे छोटे स्टार्टअप से भी काम शुरू हो सकता है। तो मैं समझता हूँ कि अगर आपकी रुचि है तो बहुत अच्छी बात है। कुछ स्टार्टअप चलाते हैं तुमको मिलने जाना और एक प्रोजेक्ट रिपोर्ट बनाओगे, उनको बताना चाहिए मैं तो स्कूल से हूँ, मैं स्कूल का प्रोजेक्ट बना रहा हूँ, तो वो छुपाएगा नहीं, आपसे बताएगा। तो धीरे धीरे आपको ज्ञान भी मिलेगा कैसे कर सकते हैं।
So during the interaction, Prime Minister Modi expressed happiness that students in the country envision to be a developed country for 2047. He said, if we want to become a developed country, we have to align our habits with it.
हमारा देश भी 2047 में डेवलप्ड राष्ट्रों के साथ एक होने वाला है। सो मेरा प्रश्न क्या है कि हम नवयुवक इसे हासिल करने के लिए क्या कर सकते हैं।
मुझे अच्छा लगा कि मेरे देश के 10th 12th के बच्चों के मन में भी 2047 विकसित भारत का ड्रीम है। ये मेरे लिए बहुत बड़ी खुशी की बात है ना। आज मुझे अब मजा आएगा। वाह, देखिए ये चीज है ना। अब 2047 में विकसित भारत यानी क्या है? आपने कभी सिंगापुर के विषय में सुना होगा। सिंगापुर एक जमाने में एक मछुआरों का छोटा सा गांव था, उसमें से आज इतना बड़ा बन गया। तो ली कुआन यू कहते थे कि भाई अगर हमको डेवलप कंट्री बनना है तो हमें अपनी आदतें डेवलप कंट्री के लोगों की होती वैसी बनानी पड़ेगी। हमें थर्ड वर्ल्ड कंट्री की तरह कहीं पर भी कूड़ा कचरा फेंक दिया।
So now let's take you to Hyderabad House again, where Seychelles President Pariksha Pe is holding talks with Prime Minister Narendra Modi in New Delhi. This is Seychelles President's first state visit to India at the invitation of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. His first trip to India coming since he assumed office in October last year, and comes as the two countries mark 50 years of diplomatic ties. So both leaders will discuss ways to strengthen bilateral cooperation, reaffirming their shared vision for peace, stability and prosperity in the Indian Ocean region. Remember, Prime Minister Narendra Modi concluded his two-day Malaysia visit on Sunday. So key aspects of bilateral ties will be discussed in the hours from now with Seychelles. So let's go back to Prime Minister Narendra Modi's Pariksha Pe Charcha interaction earlier in the day, where he inspired students, urging them to dream big and stay committed to work hard. Prime Minister Modi noted that dedication and consistent effort eventually leads to recognition.
डॉक्टर या कभी इंजीनियर या कभी अफसर बनना चाहते हैं, तो हमें आगे बढ़ के अपना करियर कैसे चूज करना चाहिए सर?
अगर आपने एक महीने में 10 चीज़ अलग अलग बता दी तो घर वाले क्या कहेंगे? इसका तो कोई ठिकाना ही नहीं। ये तो अच्छी चीज़ है कि आपको कुछ किसी को देख के लगा मैं भी ऐसा बनता तो क्या होगा। अगर ये हमको करना है, जो व्यक्ति बहुत बड़ा बन गया है वो बड़ा बनने की इच्छा होना बुरा नहीं है, लेकिन वो बड़ा बना है तहीं से अपने को जोड़ो मत। कहाँ से शुरू किया था, अगर आपका ध्यान उस पर होगा तो फिर अगर हाँ यार यहाँ से चलो मैं शुरू करता हूँ। कोई कहेगा कि मैं क्रिकेटर बना, लेकिन जब मैं 8वीं कक्षा में था तो सुबह 4 बजे उठ करके साइकिल चला करके स्टेडियम तक जाता था और फिर मैं 2 घंटे प्रैक्टिस करता था। तो फिर तो मैंने कहा अच्छा इतना मेहनत करना पड़ता है, चलो मैं शुरू करता हूँ। अभी तो क्या लगता है देखिए यार सेंचुरी लगा दी, फोटो छप गई। तो सपनों के लिए जीना सीखे, सपनों के अनुकूल जिंदगी बना, लेकिन शोर अगर मचाए तो सफलता शोर मचाए। हाँ। जैसे ही आप नंबर 1 आ जाएंगे तो सफलता शोर मचाएगी नहीं मचाएगी? पूरे स्कूल को पता चलेगा या नहीं चलेगा? चलेगा। पूरे गांव को पता चलेगा या नहीं चलेगा? तो हमारी कोशिश ये होनी चाहिए।
Addressing a question on technology, Prime Minister Modi said that technology will reshape the nature of work, and he stressed the need to understand and adapt to it.
आजकल के ज़माने में एआई का प्रभाव बढ़ते ही जा रहा है। हम देख सकते हैं कि कई कंपनियों में इंसान नहीं बल्कि एआई एम्प्लॉइज़ भी होते हैं। तो मेरा ये सवाल है कि क्या हम एआई को डरना है, और हम अपने फ्यूचर करियर लेने के समय क्या क्या याद रखना चाहिए?
देखिए, हर युग में जब भी कोई नई टेक्नोलॉजी चर्चा होती है, कंप्यूटर आया तो चर्चा हो रही क्या हो जाएगा सब, तो ये हर युग की ये चर्चा का विषय रहा है। हमें किसी चीज से डरना नहीं चाहिए। हमारी कोशिश होनी चाहिए एक, हम उसके गुलाम नहीं बनेंगे। मैं अपने जीवन में मैं ही निर्णायक रहूंगा, वो मेरा मालिक नहीं बनेगा। जैसे कुछ बच्चों का है, मोबाइल उनका मालिक बन गया। अगर मोबाइल नहीं है तो खाना नहीं खा सकता है, टीवी नहीं है तो जी नहीं सकता है। मतलब ये आप उसके गुलाम बन गए। मैं गुलाम नहीं बनूंगा। एक बार मन में ये पक्का कर, हर टेक्नोलॉजी का हम ज्यादा उपयोग कर सकते हैं। अगर मैं एआई को पूछूं मुझे ये किताब कहाँ से मिलेगी, कौन सी है, इस विषय पे अच्छी किताब कौन सी है, हो सकता है वो गाइड करे, आपके लिए काम आएगा। लेकिन तुम कहोगे मैं ही पढ़ूंगा, तुम ही मुझे बता दो अंदर क्या है, तो फिर गड़बड़। और हमेशा ही नेचर ऑफ जॉब बदलेगा, नेचर ऑफ जॉब बदलना है। और पहले भी जब बैलगाड़ी में लोग जाते थे तो एक प्रकार का जॉब था, अब वो हवाई जहाज में जाने लगा तो बहुत कुछ बदल गया, लेकिन जीवन तो चलता रहा। तो मैं समझता हूँ हमने टेक्नोलॉजी को समझना होगा, खुद का विस्तार करना होगा, उसमें उस टेक्नोलॉजी की ताकत को जोड़ना होगा, हमारे कामों में वैल्यू एडिशन करें। अगर ये होता है तो मैं पक्का मानता हूं कि कितने ही उत्तम से उत्तम टेक्नोलॉजी क्यों ना आए, हमें उपयोग होने ही वाली है, हमें डरने की जरूरत नहीं।
So a short while back, we showed you the visuals of President of Seychelles, Dr. Patrick Minier, holding talks with Prime Minister Modi in New Delhi. Earlier, Dr. Minier arrived at the Hyderabad house where the two sides are holding discussions on bilateral, regional and international issues of mutual interest. Later in the day, the visiting President Minier will also meet President Draupadi Murmu at Rashtrapati Bhavan this evening. Minier, who is on a 6-day visit to India, arrived in New Delhi on Sunday. Before coming to New Delhi, the President of Seychelles visited Chennai and Mumbai, where he attended business events. The visit of the President of Seychelles will lend further momentum to wide-ranging cooperation and robust people-to-people ties between the two countries. India's External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar also called on the visiting dignitary. As maritime neighbours, Jaishankar said that he values his support towards advancing Vision Mahasagar for economic prosperity and security in the region. He also expressed confidence that his engagements with Prime Minister Modi will open new vistas for our cooperation. Seychelles President Dr. Patrick Minier also paid tribute to the father of the nation, Mahatma Gandhi. He laid a wreath at Mahatma Gandhi's memorial in Rajghat in New Delhi. He also signed a visitor's book there. Greek Defence Minister Nikos Dendias is also visiting India, with today, Monday, being the last day of his 4-day visit. On Monday, he will lay a wreath at the National War Memorial in New Delhi. Later, he will inspect the Tri-Service Guard of Honour in the presence of Indian counterpart of his, Rajnath Singh. This will be followed by a bilateral meeting at Manekshaw Centre. On Sunday, the visiting Defence Minister was in Bengaluru, where he had the opportunity of being hosted at defence facilities and being briefed on India's innovation ecosystem. He visited public and leading private companies which are active in the area of defence innovation and the development of cutting-edge technologies. Dendias said that the prospect for cooperation between the Greek defence ecosystem and the Indian one is important and substantial. He added that the aim is the transfer of technological and technical knowledge and the development of strategic synergies in the defence sector. You're watching DD India Live, still to come on the show. Prime Minister Modi congratulates Japan's Prime Minister Sanae Takaichi on the landmark win as Liberal Democratic Party-led coalition is projected to secure a massive majority. Japan's Nikkei jumps 4%. Iran once again rejects US demands to abandon uranium enrichment, warns it will not be pressured by military threats. And McSweeney quits over Mandelson Epstein scandal. We'll get you all that and more on the other side.
Geopolitics and trade deals. Economic challenges amid development. Hard work and the path to prosperity. It's the economy always. Between walkers, money is what money does and says. Supply creates its own demand. Between the bulls pulls and bears tears. When supply chains globalization and India rises to the podium. We'll get you centered with the economic brief at 8 p.m. every Thursday on DD India.
Welcome back. You're watching DD India Live. I am Tanvi Taneja. More news from Asia. Japan's political landscape has been reshaped. Prime Minister Sanae Takaichi has secured a landslide election victory, strengthening her grip on power just months after becoming the country's first woman leader. The result revives her long dominant party, reassures markets, and raises fresh questions about Japan's direction at home and on the world stage. A report.
Japan's first female prime minister has scored one of the biggest election victories in decades, looking in a two-thirds majority in the lower house. The result revives fortunes of the Liberal Democratic Party, which has been rattled by inflation, scandal and voter fatigue. A former heavy metal drummer, she struck a chord with younger voters, an aspect which injected much-needed impetus into LDP's poll campaign. Takaichi is set to harden Japan's security posture. Her comments on Taiwan and embrace of nationalist symbols have already rattled Beijing, leaving open whether she now de-escalates or governs from a position of strength. Ties with Washington, meanwhile, are expected to remain firm. Takaichi supports higher defense spending and tighter alignment with the United States and regional partners. On economic front, Takaichi has pledged tax cuts, aggressive fiscal stimulus, and promised continued easy monetary policy. But despite breaking the highest political glass ceiling, Takaichi has avoided framing her leadership around gender. She has appointed only a small number of women to her cabinet. Tokyo stocks surged after the election, with the Nikkei hitting record highs as investors welcomed political stability and the prospect of increased government spending. The yen strengthened as well, easing fears of immediate fiscal instability. Bureau Report, DD India.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi, in a social media post on X, congratulated Sanae Takaichi on her landmark victory in the elections to the House of Representatives in Japan. He further said in the post that our special strategic and global partnership plays a vital role in enhancing global peace, stability and prosperity. Prime Minister Modi expressed confidence that under Takaichi's able leadership, the India-Japan friendship will be taken to greater heights. Hong Kong court has sentenced media tycoon Jimmy Lai to 20 years in prison, marking an end to a high-profile national security trial that sparked international condemnation. The sentence comes after a legal case that has lasted nearly 5 years. 2 of those years will overlap with Lai's existing prison term, meaning that he will serve an additional 18 years. The Hong Kong court had also clarified that it will not reduce Lai's sentence because of his medical condition. And next updates from the West Asian country Iran, which has once again rejected US demands to abandon uranium enrichment, warning that it will not be pressured by military threats. The comments come as Tehran and Washington resume nuclear negotiations for the first time in years. A report.
Iran has reaffirmed it will not give up uranium enrichment despite US threats of war. Speaking in Tehran on Sunday, Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi said Iran would not be intimidated by US military deployments, including aircraft carrier USS Abraham Lincoln, and insisted no country has the right to dictate Iran's actions.
The Islamic Republic of Iran has paid a very heavy price for its peaceful nuclear program and for uranium enrichment. Why do we insist so much on enrichment and refuse to give it up, even if a war is imposed on us? Because no one has the right to dictate our behavior. If Iran insists on enrichment, it is because it refuses all domination.
His comments came as Iran and the United States resumed indirect nuclear talks in Oman for the first time in years. Tehran is seeking sanctions relief in exchange for confidence-building steps on its nuclear program. Western countries and Israel accuse Iran of pursuing nuclear weapons, a claim Tehran denies. Meanwhile, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is expected to meet US President Donald Trump in Washington on Wednesday, where Iran will be high on the agenda. Following indirect nuclear talks in Oman, officials from both sides said further discussions are likely to take place. However, Arakchi expressed deep mistrust of Washington, questioning its commitment to negotiations amid new US sanctions and continued military signals.
The imposition of new sanction and military action raised doubt about the seriousness and readiness of the other side to conduct genuine negotiation. We are closely monitoring the situation, accessing all these signals, and will decide whether to continue the negotiations.
Despite rising tensions, both sides say diplomacy remains the only path forward as efforts continue to prevent wider conflict. Rabindra Chauhan's report for DD India.
Next update on the Epstein files. From New York to the UK, Epstein files shed light on its sprawling ranch. British Prime Minister Keir Starmer's Chief of Staff Morgan McSweeney quit on Sunday, saying he took responsibility for advising Starmer to name Peter Mandelson as ambassador to the US, despite his known links to Jeffrey Epstein. After the new files reveal the depth of the Labour veteran's relationship with the late sex offender, Starmer is facing what is widely seen as the gravest crisis of his 18 months in power over his decision to send Mandelson to Washington in 2024. Norway's foreign ministry said a prominent ambassador, Mona Juul, would step down due to a serious failure of judgment over ties to late sex offender Jeffrey Epstein, part of a growing scandal in the Nordic country and across Europe. The ministry earlier this week suspended Juul from her position as ambassador to Jordan and Iraq, pending an internal inquiry of links to Epstein found in a massive set of files released by the United States government. And on to sports news now. India sealed a place in Davis Cup qualifiers round 2 after clinching a dramatic win over world number 6, the Netherlands, in Bengaluru. Dakshineshwar Suresh announced himself as India's newest Davis Cup match winner, sealing a stirring 3-2 victory over the Netherlands by clinching the decisive 5th rubber and guiding the hosts into qualifiers round 2. Dakshineshwar won both his singles matches and partnered Yuki Bhambre to victory in the doubles, completing a rare 3-win haul in a single tie for India. The win against the Netherlands helped India progress to the second round of the Davis Cup 2026 qualifiers, scheduled in September. They will be up against fellow Asian side, the Republic of Korea, in the tie, and a win there will see them progress to the finals to contest for the title. Tejaswin Shankar won the men's heptathlon event to clinch India's lone gold at the Asian Indo Athletics Championships campaign with 5 medals on Sunday. The 4 medals on Sunday saw India finish 6th overall with 5 medals in total, 1 gold, 2 bronze and 2 silver. On his way to winning the gold medal, Shankar collected 5,993 points to better his own national Indo mark of 5,650 points set in 2021 in the USA. Shankar's total points at the tournament were also a championship record and saw him register the second best score ever by an Asian. And that's all for this edition of DD India Live. Do let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. Connect with us on our different social media handles at DD India Live. And you can also download our DD India mobile app for quick news and updates on the go. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Tanvi Taneja from all of us here in New Delhi. Thank you for watching. Namaskar.